Hello, everybody. Oh, darn. How y'all doing? I hope you're doing good. Yeah, it's one of those casual mornings today. Uh, I thought maybe I might be able to sneak her into the video a little bit, but no, not gonna be the case. She's like, nope, 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 nope. Don't take my picture. Oh, she hates her picture being taken, even though she's such a ham and such a diva. Don't take my picture. So yeah, I didn't want to get up and disturb her and so on and so forth. While she was actually earlier she was all cuddled up in my arm, sleeping a little bit and so forth. So that's the main reason why I decided I'm not gonna worry about doing my hair, putting my glasses on, all that sort of stuff today. So it's like okay, I ain't gonna worry about it. So anyway, you get to see me all au natural again. So, yeah, as you can tell, I'm definitely feeling pretty good. Yeah, I got a little icky. We had a little storm cell go through yesterday. It was kind of passing through in between here and Pahrump. For those of you who don't know where Pahrump is, yes, it is the name of a town. It's actually off to our west, about 45 minutes west of here, something like that, up over the mountains, basically. Well, what am I saying? We're surrounded by mountains, but the mountains to the west, basically Mount Charleston and so forth. So, excuse me. Anyway, yeah, I got a little icky with that, but just took it easy. Went slow and so forth, and it passed through and everything. It was like okay. Went out to work last night, and I don't think I got to bed until after 4 this morning, something like that. I was actually pretty sleepy. I even kind of fell asleep a little bit in the drive-through. Fortunately, I was right there at the window, waiting for them to finish preparing the order, because I fell asleep for a little bit, and all of a sudden the guy opened up the window. I was like, "Well," I said, "Oh, did I startle you?" And I'm like, "No, I fell asleep." Fortunately, it was my last run, so it's like, yeah. But it was one of those nights where I wish I wasn't a diabetic, because I just wanted to come home and go right to sleep. But unfortunately, I couldn't. I had to uh, take my insulins, and especially my long lasting one, the 24-hour one. And I had to make sure I ate to help cover. So, oh well, that's all right. Got some sleep after that. So, anyway, yeah, I'm just trying to learn, how to live with all of this. Is obviously I know there's not a cure or what have you, and that's the thing. I just want to know exactly. I mean, yeah, I know what I'm dealing with or what have you, but have it explained to me a little bit better and so forth, so I can and possibly get some guidance. Um, with how to work with this, for the rest of my life. I mean, it's basically the same as what I've always dealt with. Um, being born a hypoglycemic, and then of course dealing with issues with my mom and so on and so forth. I mean, she took care of her own self, all and everything. But I had to know what was going on, also, just in case she wasn't able to. So yeah, um, that's so yeah. That's the thing, and unfortunately, too, there's modern medical care. Yeah, it's medical care has come a long ways over the millennia. It's whatever the plural is for that, but again, we still have a long ways to go. So, and a doctor's opinion is not the end all be all of all things either, because there's a lot of things that they don't know. And that's something that a lot of them have to realize and come to terms with their own egos and so forth, and have to be open to other possibilities as well. So yeah, I definitely strongly encourage that, if you do seek medical care or whatever, I mean, if the advice is sound, go for it. But if it's not, either go and get a second opinion or do some research yourself. I've had to do that with myself over the years. So, and unfortunately, come across quite a few doctors um, over the course of my lifetime who had major egos. So, but that's them, not yourself. So anyway, I don't know how in the world I got on that topic. I'm still half asleep, I think. Trying to wake up. So anyway, yeah, definitely we're getting our storms through. Where we have a lot of, basically it's mostly cloudy skies this morning. And this is supposed to be like this all weekend, and we might see a little bit of flash flooding or something as storms move throughout the day today, which is going to make things very, very interesting because of all of the road closures that are out there. Whoa! Yeah, I wound up in the Strip area last night, and oh my gosh! And it's been a little bit, with the not doing the ride sharing work. I've been lot more selective with what sort of requests that are coming in, even though it does affect my ratings. um, but it's like, I just won't tolerate it. Before I tolerated a lot. Now I'm putting my foot down, and it's like, you know what? It's not worth it to me. I just don't care, especially when it comes to dealing with deliveries, because unfortunately, you get a delivery request at a hotel, and people just don't understand that, sorry, you can't have your food delivered right to your hotel room door. Okay, most of the hotels, even small outlying hotels, and I'm not talking about places out on Boulder Highway. I'm talking. There was one. I think it was like 2, 3 weeks ago, something like that. Um, Way out there on the west side. It wasn't Red Rock. Basically, I'll just come out and say it was a Hampton Inn, way out there. Uh, in the area, but south of Red Rock. But anyway, these people had ordered a pizza, and they wanted it delivered to their room. And I go to walk in, excuse me, um, to the door, and the one set of doors was open, but then the set of doors actually going into the lobby were closed, and the receptionist had to buzz you in. And I remember the door didn't want to open. She comes over, she tries to activate the sensor, still wouldn't open, to both of us to actually pry the door open to get it open. And I was like, well, I hope y'all don't have an emergency here soon where people are needing to get out of here, So he's like, right. And I told her, I have this pizza these people want delivered and everything. Sorry, I can't let you up because of security reasons. People just don't realize, especially since the shooting happened, that there's still security policies in place, and they're there to help protect you. Okay. Um, so, but yeah, these people, they were very upset and so on and so forth. I've had it happen a few times. And it's like, sorry, okay, take it up with the hotel management, but it's not going to change. Um, there are places even. There was one. I didn't. It wasn't a delivery request, but going taken to the room. I was actually picking up in one of the restaurants and food court over there on one of the hotels there on Boulder Highway, what we refer to as the Boulder Strip, because there's quite a few hotel and or casinos um, out in that area. But anyway, with where we had to park to go into the food court to pick up our orders, there's elevators right there, and there's somebody actually sitting right there. And if you didn't have a hotel room key to go upstairs or prior authorization, like you were a guest to the person who was in that room or what have you, it wasn't going to happen. I even seen it at a weekly I was delivering um, here recently. They really they've been it's been there for quite a while, and they're definitely going through huge overhaul there, and they had even had signs posted saying that if you are a guest here, you must check in before you're allowed on the property. Obviously, it didn't apply to us or what have you. It was basically, a guest of, like maybe somebody coming in from out of town or something like that. And it was like, it was posted, you have to check in. I was like, whoa. Okay, this is different. Especially for this place. It's like, okay. So I mean, it's one of the more decent of the weeklies, okay, but yeah, it kind of threw me for a loop there. I was like, okay, so these sorts of things are happening. I'm seeing more and more and more with not just with the tourist traps, resorts, but also small places like this. So oh well, folks. I don't mind it. It's like, the way I look at it is, you know what, I get it. You're in town, you're probably tired, from walking around this and that and everything. But you know what? And I can understand, like if you may have a disability, difficulties moving around or something like that. Okay, I get that because I live with that. Okay, but and I have lived it with it, where it's like, I couldn't move around without a cane or, especially after my car accident. It was like, oh gosh, I was in such severe pain. And I'm not just talking immediately after, I'm talking years, with being in severe pain and um, mobility issues and so forth. So I get all of that. Okay. But if you're a perfectly abled person and you're just, oh gosh, I'm just so tired. Now, be happy you're getting your food delivered, okay? Meet halfway. We're constantly in and out of our cars and so on and so forth. It's like, come on, meet halfway. And unfortunately, with the way things are, with parking and so forth, it isn't like we can park, right there on the front driveway and run it upstairs. It ain't gonna happen. I sure as heck ain't gonna leave my car there. And and with as much of a hassle it is to like park in a parking garage. Yeah, we get so many with being a local. We get so many for hours, so much time anyway, not hours, but time for free. But it's a huge hassle to and with the hike and then still having to find the elevator, go upstairs, come on, or even just to meet somebody in the lobby. It's like it's can be very 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 difficult situation, especially if like that hotel is having an event or something like that. And the driveway is busy, this, that. Yeah, no. Get your butt downstairs and get your food. Okay. I always try and coordinate people as soon as I find out that where I'm going and I know that I'm going to a place like that. Very first thing I do is I go offline so I can't get any more requests. Excuse me. Um, but then next thing I do is I start trying to coordinate with people. And sometimes I get people who are a bit icky, who are just like, I've been traveling all day, and that's my problem. How? You have to take that stance sometimes, because unfortunately I even had one person try, who was just, I don't understand, all these other people, they're bringing food in and this and that, and and taking it out to their rooms. She was automatically assuming these were all other drivers, and it wasn't. These were people who went out and they got food for themselves, and they bring it in and taking it up to their room to eat. It's like, okay, whatever. Sorry, I didn't mean for this to turn into a bitch session, but yeah, I'm just trying to explain, um, uh, what some of the things that we go through, and everything, and unfortunately, um, it's part of it. Yeah, yeah, and like I was saying, I wound up in the strip area last night for the first time in a while, and it was just like, oh my gosh, with the um, road closures or lane closures or this or that and everything. Yeah, the one traffic jam I wound up in is having to do with the F1 formula coming back in November, and then making changes that need to happen with that. I was just like, oh my gosh, oh, forget it. And then this weekend, and oh, that was one of the reasons, why I was bringing it up with the weather this weekend and the road closures. This is the second weekend now that they're going to be shutting down, the 15, our main artery going in and out of town, but it's going to be in the strip corridor, that they're going to be, closing. I think last weekend it was northbound, and this weekend is supposed to be southbound. That they're going to be closing between Flamingo, not the Flamingo Hotel. A lot of people get that confused. Our street names are named after hotels. Okay, I'm talking about Flamingo Road, Avenue, whatever it is. Um, Going all the way down to the interchange, the 215 interchange. So, yeah, that's going to cause a lot of headaches, especially if we have flooding issues and so forth. That's supposed to be the biggest one, and it's part of this repaving thing that they're doing with the freeway. I think it has something to do with the uh, Tropicana exits, north and southbound, uh, um, Tropicana exits being redone. So yeah, lots of fun. It was like with the Tropicana reworking project that was supposed to be done this month. It was only supposed to last a year and a half, but you know how that goes. Yeah, sure. So who knows when it'll get done. Um, but yeah, it's should be kind of interesting this weekend, with the weather and so forth. Um, but anyway, I know I'm kind of losing my train of thought there. um, yeah, like I was saying, yeah, as far as all this, I just mostly want to try and get some answers so I can figure out my workarounds and so forth. Um, but the other thing that, actually, was a couple things. Hopefully, I'll have enough time. Yeah, maybe I'll save that for another thing. I was thinking that I was going to warn everybody that there's, yeah, I think it has something to do, with this being an election year and so forth, and especially with who's running and so forth. That seemed to me that we're repeating a pattern from 8 years ago, when the one candidate was running, but against somebody else. And I've been noticing um, a lot of scammers and spammers. Um, and now I'm even seeing solicitors, trying to, yeah, a lot with, of course, with my private account, with my Instagram account, but I'm also seeing it on these accounts, with the blog. I got hit yesterday with a potential solicitor, somebody, possibly either they're I am still trying to determine, and I hope that they're watching. Yeah. Either trying to get information for their own posts, their own blog posts that they're doing. Basically, either just trying to get idea generation or actually steal stuff, or potentially trying to get an endorsement. I want to make it clear. And when I do mention things, like examples or what have you, that's exactly what they are, examples. Or if it's something that's related to what I'm talking about, basically, one way or another, examples, or, a song buzzing around in my head or something like that. That's it. And if I get the copyright wrong or what have you, I apologize. But I do not do endorsements. Okay? I want to make that perfectly clear. Paid or otherwise, it does not matter. I will not do endorsements. Okay? Maybe that's the reason why I don't have my glasses on, so that way I can look you straight in the eye and be like, give it up. It ain't happening. Okay? If I do something, it's because it's coming from my heart and I feel passionate about something. I will not, also, when it comes to these accounts, I will not follow anybody either, unless I feel passionate about it. Like with the Instagram account, I follow the Golden Knights. I love this town. I love the Knights. So I go ahead and follow them. The only other account that I follow on my Instagram account is the is my own personal account. Um, I might follow others uh, on my other accounts or my other social media accounts, but it's something that I really feel passionate about. So I basically, just to willy nilly to be following or what have you, to me that's just, it's like I don't want to say patting each other or stroking each other on the back. It's basically trying to stroke each other, and it's like, no, I'm not here. I'm not here, at least not right now, to be marketing or and promoting anything. Right now, I'm just more interested in inspiring. Okay, trying to help spread some hope and positivity and so forth, especially with what I'm going through. Okay, I just want to try and help inspire and help spread hope for people. So anyway, the only other thing I was going to mention was the synchronicities that I couldn't help but feel with. Uh, I guess, speaking of a non-endorsement, I was watching Mary Jo Cranmore's uh, readings for the Lionsgate readings that she's doing right now, with my Libra moon, and then later on, when I first got home, actually, I watched the my North Node, which is Sag, very very similar. But at the same point, it was also quite interesting because I've been thinking, uh, just earlier in the day and a little bit off and on, to with what wound up coming out in those readings, basically having to do with love, with what I'm looking for as far as what love is, or what I know what love is, and what I'm actually looking for in relationships, friendship or romantic or otherwise. That's what basically what I experienced when I had my little gifty given to me last January. And it was really quite interesting that it actually came out in those reasons. And I was just thinking about it earlier in the day, also that morning, or yesterday morning, because the videos just came out yesterday. It was just it floored me. I was just like, yeah, this makes it just confirmed what I have been feeling, and so forth. It's like, especially when it comes to, a romantic relationship, I'm not looking for somebody to even, yeah, I'm going through a rough time right now, but still, yeah, even with going through that, I'm fine. I'm finding ways to be able to push through so I can not so in that way, I can keep doing what I want to do or what have you, but so I can keep my freedom and independence. Because I'm not somebody who's comfortable with having somebody feeding me or anything. I prefer to take care of myself, my own responsibilities, and so forth. Um, So, yeah, it's basically when especially when it comes to a romantic relationship, I'm looking for knight in shining armor, someone to come to my rescue. I believe in equality, both of us, being on equal footing and so forth. That's the way I've always been. And but yeah, of course, support each other and so on in our endeavors and so on and so forth. But as far as you know, and especially now that I really know what real love is, yeah, that's what I'm looking for here in the 3D. So, anywho, I hope that you all have a great day. Um, and if we do get some really good weather and everything, I'll be sure to post some pictures as well. Oh, speaking of pictures, I did take a picture of a shot glass I seen in a convenience store the other day. It's so funny. Um, it it was something along the lines of um, what happens in Vegas used to stay in Vegas, but now it stays on Facebook. So it said something along those lines. I know I took a picture of it. I'll have to see about posting it on the community page of the YouTube, or the community tab of the YouTube page and the Instagram page. Those are basically the two channels that really I've been focusing on when it comes to doing the posts. And of course, the blog as well. So, yeah, that's oh, and that was the other thing I was going to mention too, as far as scammers and spammers are concerned. I even got hit. I was going through my Google News feed, and hit on an article that I was interested in, and I went to hit on it, and it wound up being malware. So, yeah, I had to get that. It had all the blocks coming up and so on and so forth. That was just like, so be careful. Even if something as innocent as looking as that. Yeah, they are definitely out and hitting hard. And I noticed it even like with my stats with the blog. I've been getting hit by the traditional scamming um, countries. So they're looking for backdoor ways, which ain't gonna happen. Sorry. So just be careful out there, guys. Okay, even even if you prepare as best you can, there's always going to be that one thing that you didn't think of or what have you, and bam, it's going to get you. And that's true with anything in life. So, all right. I love you guys. I will talk at you later.